Oh, taste and see. Oh, taste.
Glory to Jesus Christ. My name is Vlad Zablotskyy and I welcome you to yet another episode of our online Orthodox Cooking Show. Today I'm going to show you a recipe that many parishioners and friends of the parish had asked me before, and I just didn't have, we either found ourselves in the middle of land or some other excuse that I found not to make this recipe. But I'm talking about the sauerkraut and kielbasa, and my recipe has one secret ingredient that makes the whole difference. But for this recipe you will need a ring of kielbasa. We usually buy this Hillshire Farm. This one is made with pork, turkey and beef. It's not something that you would buy or eat every day, but it's really good fit for this recipe. You will need about a pound of sauerkraut. In our case we are using our homemade sauerkraut. It's actually the latest batch that we made. A large diced onion, about a cup of shredded carrot, and this is my secret ingredient, about a cup of sour cream, about quarter cup of oil, about tablespoon of butter, and salt and pepper to taste. So to begin with, we're going to slice this kielbasa. I usually cut it in half first, and I just make rings of kielbasa about half an inch each. You can, after you slice the kielbasa, you can roast it as we did in the past. You can just put it in the oven for about I don't know, 20-30 minutes at 375, and it will roast quite a lot nicely. But today I'm going to fry kielbasa first, and now that I'm done, we're going to move to so to fry your kielbasa you will need a quarter cup of oil. Put it in a pan. You can do it in a skillet, but I'm using the pan because later on I will need to put a cover on it, and I placed it on a high heat at this time, and once the oil heats up a little bit, I'm gonna add my should not take that long because that heats pretty quickly. I'm gonna just place all of the kielbasa right into this pot, and I almost lost one little ring, but my dog was right next to us, so she would have gotten it. But anyway, you have to brown them so they a little bit brown, golden brown, and it will take about 5 to 6 After about 5 or 6 minutes, our kielbasa will look like this, and at this time I'm gonna turn the heat to low, and I need to get the kielbasa out of this pot into a separate container. So I'll just take them all out over here. I mean, you can, again, you can bypass this step if you were to roast your kielbasa in the oven on the roasting pan, but since we are frying them, so you set your kielbasa aside, and at this time you're going to add your put it to medium, around medium high. Put your onions in, And then you want to fry your onion until it's translucent, or about I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes on medium high. And while you're frying the onion, you also want to add your butter, because you never can have enough butter in things that you cook, permitting, you know, providing that it's not a land. So, but we're going to cook down, and you see those drips from the bottom of the pan, what we fried kielbasa in, they're gonna be deglazed by the juice of the onion, and it will take about 3 to 4 minutes for this onion to be. And while your onion is cooking, you can season it with salt. Don't overdo it, because kielbasa, they normally come pretty salty. So a little bit of salt, freshly ground pepper to taste, and continue frying your onions until they are soaked and translucent. After about 4 to 5 minutes of sauteing the onions as they become a little bit more translucent, you add your carrot and you saute it for another 5 minutes, the onion together with the carrot. After about another 4 to 5 minutes sauteing together onion with the carrots, at this point we're gonna add the sauerkraut. And my sauerkraut, I squeezed the juice a little bit too much. I would like to have more juice, but I didn't. So my sauerkraut is a little bit on the dry side, but I'm gonna mix this all together pretty thoroughly. You can turn at this point your heat low to medium low, or medium to medium high probably would be good. Just make sure mix all this so the carrots and the sauerkraut, they all incorporate nicely together like so. And again, because I said that my sauerkraut was a little bit, and probably you want to do, if you're using the store-bought sauerkraut, you probably want to squeeze it really well anyway, because if you use that juice from the store, it's going to be way too sour at the end. So, but I would like to put just a splash of water just to make sure there's a little bit of liquid in the pan, so it doesn't dry or doesn't get burned. So at this point I'm gonna also, no, actually a little bit more water. I would say about, it's gonna evaporate eventually, about probably 1/4 cup of water I added, because I want to see it a little bit on the bottom, because all the ingredients will suck it up. So at this point we're going to add our kielbasa back into the mixture as well. Probably could have used more kielbasa. Maybe I could have done 2 rings, but the sauerkraut is going to cook down quite a bit, so it's gonna be still very delicious. So at this time we're gonna put the heat to medium high, or actually medium. Cover our sauerkraut with a lid and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. So our sauerkraut has been cooking for about 25 minutes, and you can see that the liquid kind of cooked out, and the sauerkraut is actually become very soft. At this point you want to add your entire sour cream, which is about a cup for this recipe, And of course, if you want to make this recipe will probably feed about 4 to 5 people. But if you want to make it a little bit larger recipe, you can always adjust this recipe to your needs. But now, after you put the sour cream in, you want it again to thoroughly mix it in, so it's all incorporated nicely. Again, it's up to you. If you want to use a little bit more kielbasa, you can do so, or perhaps less sour cream, sauerkraut rather, so there's more meat. But this is kind of, you like it. And once you mix your sour cream in, you're going to cover it one more time and let it cook on medium or medium low for another 10
Our
minutes.
sauerkraut and kielbasa are done, and it
Smells amazing. Now all that is left is to place them and to taste it. And it really looks amazing. I'm gonna grab a little bit more sauerkraut because I love sauerkraut really much, very much. And a few pieces of kielbasa. And we're ready to taste it.
And now it's my favorite time of the show when I get to taste the food I made. So this the homemade sauerkraut makes a whole difference. So if you don't have it, you really have to look up my sauerkraut video and learn how to make it. But I'm gonna just taste. It's an excellent dish. The sour cream adds a little bit of richness to the dish, and the sourness of sauerkraut kind of cuts that fatty part of kielbasa, and it works absolutely terrific together. Excellent dish. You have to try it. If you like this video, please give us thumbs up on YouTube, share it with your friends on Facebook, and I will see you next time.